Namaste students. Today we are going to start with our next chapter of class 11, that is chapter 16, probability. When I talk about probability, it's not a new word for you all. You have studied this chapter in your junior classes. Remember, if I give you one example, suppose a die is thrown. When a die is thrown, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The possible outcomes are maybe this is a new word that we'll be explaining. And you have done in class 10 when they asked you to find the probability of getting an even number. You used to find out how many even numbers I have: 2, 4 and 6. 3 by 6, 1 by 2. That means the formula was number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. Number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. Is it clear? This we have done in class 10th. This approach, we take it ratio of favorable outcomes divided by total number of observation. In this way, assume when I am throwing a dice, every number has equal chances of occurrence. Like 1 has the same chances, 1 bhi aa sakta hai, 2 can come, 3 can come, 4, 5, 6. So these are called equally likely outcomes. Is it clear? Equally likely outcomes. That means हम लोगों ने वो सारे examples किए क्लास 10th के अंदर जिसमें हर चीज के आने की possibility equal होती है. अब यहाँ पर dice throw करने में 1 के आने के उतने ही chances है जितने 6 के हैं. When I throw a coin, when I toss a coin, head आने की 50% chances है, tail आने की 50% chances है. But this real life, this does not happen. Is it clear? It's not compulsory every time 50% chances would be there. I'll be dealing with only equally likely outcomes. That's not possible. This approach of probability which we did in class 10, this is called classical approach. This is called classical theory of probability. This is called classical theory of probability, where we assume that and we take only those portions where we say every number has equal chances of occurrence. When I toss a coin, head has same chances as the tail has. But I told you in real life does not happen. Alright, suppose if I have to come to school today, what are the chances that I'll come by maybe car, by bus, maybe by auto? What are the chances? So everything can have a different chance of occurrence. Is it clear? So we can't just based on this. So there can be some events, there can be some possibilities where everything has a different probability, where everything has a different chances of occurrence. Is it clear? So we will be dealing with that. In class 9th, what did you do? In class 10th, we did this classical theory of probability. That is number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. But it has limitations. Alright, it has limitations. In class 9th, what did we do? If you remember class 9th में, we did using observations. We have studied probability using observations, alright, and collected data. And there we used to have that column wise collected data, uske chances, and then we used to find out the probability. This is called statistical. This is called statistical approach of probability. Statistical approach of probability. This is called see, again this depends upon the collection of data. Is it clear? It depends upon the collection of data. So again it has limitations. Now we are going to study in class 11th a new approach to probability. It is new approach to probability because I told you that it may happen then the events have different chances of occurrence. The events have different chances of occurrence. We will be studying axiomatic approach of probability. Now we will be studying axiom. Remember the word axiom? Axiomatic approach of probability. Alright, axiomatic approach of probability. Fine. Now for this there are a few basic terms like random experiment, outcomes, events, though we discussed this thing in the 10th also. Fine, so few basic terms are there which we need to study. Okay, one more thing. See, when we do the theory, the topic sometimes seems to be a little difficult. Alright, but don't worry, the topic is not difficult at all. The probability is the easiest of all. Clear? So now the few basic terms which we need to do for this approach of probability. Axiomatic approach of probability. Number one is random experiments. अब random experiment क्या होता है? What is random experiment? Like any experiment, alright, any experiment which has fixed outcomes. मतलब उसमें क्या आने वाला है ये मुझे पहले से पता है. Like if I throw a dice, I know either 1 will come, 2 will come, 3 will come, 4 will come, 5 will come or 6 will come. But what exactly will come, I will come to know after performing that experiment. Like for example, you are all science children, like you have done till class 10 some experiments in physics, chemistry. You know for what are you experimenting. तुम्हें पता है कौन सा salt तुम्हें result में चाहिए. Is it clear? इस experiment में क्या reaction होने वाला है. लेकिन exactly reading कब लेते हो जब experiment हो जाता है ना उसके बाद. So this is random experiment. Random experiment means an experiment is said to be random the random experiment if number one it has more than one outcome, एक से ज़्यादा results possible होने चाहिए. It has more than one outcome. Alright, it has more than one possible outcome and the possible outcomes cannot be predicted in advance. It has more than one, you can write possible outcomes and alright, and the outcomes, it's not possible to predict the outcome in advance. To predict the outcome in advance. It means children very simple. एक experiment जो मुझे पता है इसमें ये या ये आ सकता है. When I toss a coin, I know either head can come. If I toss a coin, either head can come or a tail can come. That I know. But what exactly will come, that I don't know. It is not possible to predict the outcome in advance. I know when I toss a coin, it fall on head or it fall on tail. That I'll come to know when the experiment is finally performed. When the coin is either in my palm or it is on the floor, then only I'll come to know which outcome is there exactly. So random experiment, which has more than one possible outcomes. I know what all things are going to can come, but what exactly will come, I come to know after performing the experiment. Is it clear? I hope random experiment is clear to everyone. The next is outcomes. The second is outcomes. Outcomes. अब exactly क्या? The possible result of random experiment is called outcomes. The possible मतलब I'll explain you first. इसका मतलब जो मुझे एडवांस में पता है कि इस एक्सपेरिमेंट के अंदर ये हो सकता है, ये हो सकता है, ये हो सकता है. For example, when I throw a dice, I know either 1 can come, or 2 can come, or 3 can come, or 4 can come, or 5 can come, or 6 can come. That means, what am I saying? A possible result of a random experiment. The possible result of random experiment is called outcomes. Is it clear? कि क्या क्या आ सकता है? It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4. That is called random. This outcomes. The possible results of random experiment is called an outcome. Is it clear? It's called outcomes. Then we have the word sample space. Sample space means the total number of possible outcomes. Of random experiment. Total number of possible outcomes. When I say I throw a die, my sample space is denoted by S. It is a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Is it clear? Sample space is total number of possible outcome. Outcome is what exactly? Whether these can come. But if I make it a set of all the possible outcomes, then that becomes a sample space. Sample space is denoted by S. It is a set of all the possible outcomes. That becomes a sample space. I hope it's clear to everyone. We'll take an examples and it will be more clear. Random experiment means an experiment whose results I know in advance कि ये आ सकता है, लेकिन exactly क्या आएगा वो experiment के बाद पता चलेगा. Outcomes, जो possible outcomes होंगे कि 1, 2, 3, 4 और उन सभी possible outcomes को अगर एक set की form में बना दिया जाए, so that becomes a sample space. Now children, you need to keep one thing in mind. Wherever probability gets over in class 11, in 12th starts from there. Is it clear? It starts from there. So you have to do the probability in a proper way, because in class 12 we will be starting where we'll be ending in class 11. So this is very, very important topic for all of you. Let's see some basic questions. Number 1, whatever we have done till now, the questions related to that. The first is 2 coins are tossed once, find the sample space. 2 coins are tossed once. Alright. See, if they ask you 2 coins are tossed once or 1 coin is tossed twice, that's one and same thing. Now I know that the first coin, either head can be there or tail. In the second coin also it can be head and tail. Now I have to make the total sample space. Is it clear? So what are the possibility? The first coin gets head, the second also gets head. So HH. The first coin gets heads but the second gets tail. So it can be HT. The first coin gets tail and the second gets head. TH. The first gets tail and the other also tail. Is it clear? तो जब भी सैम्पल स्पेस बनाना चिल्ड्रन, यू हैव टू बी केयरफुल. क्लियर? सो व्हाट यू कैन डू, पहले एक कॉइन के हेड से स्टार्ट करो. दैट मीन्स सबसे पहले हेड्स, 2 हेड्स, 1 हेड, 0 हेड. ऐसे मिक्स मत करना क्वेश्चन को. द मोर, अभी तो ये 2 वाला है तो वी नो इट. इज इट क्लियर? 3 वाला कॉइन वाला आ जाएगा, 4 वाला आ जाएगा, इट विल बी प्रॉब्लम. तो दिमाग में सोच के चलो 2 कॉइन्स है तो ऐसा हो सकता है दोनों पे हेड आए, एक पे हेड आए, या किसी पे भी हेड ना आए. तो उस हिसाब से सपोज करना, दोनों पे हेड आए मतलब एच एच. एक पे हेड का मतलब है पहले पे हेड दूसरे पे टेल, या फिर दूसरे पहले पे टेल दूसरे पे हेड. और नो हेड का मतलब है टी टी. इज इट क्लियर? अब इसी के अंदर अगर सपोज मैं 3 कॉइन्स कर दूं, इफ सपोज देयर आर 3 कॉइन्स, सो क्या क्या पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकती है? एक हेड और टेल और. क्लियर? इफ 3 कॉइन्स आर टॉस्ड, देन सैंपल स्पेस. अब 3 कॉइन्स मतलब तीनों पे हेड हो सकता है, तो दैट मीन्स एच एच एच. अब 3 हेड वाला केस तो खत्म हो गया. नाउ इट कैन बी 2 हेड्स. एक को पकड़ना है, या तो टेल को पकड़ो, 3 टेल, 2 टेल, 1 टेल, 0 टेल. या हेड, 3 हेड, 2 हेड, 1 हेड, 0 हेड. ऑलराइट, 3 हेड्स. नाउ इट कैन बी 2 हेड्स, 1 टेल. सो 2 हेड यहाँ भी हो सकते हैं. धीरे धीरे पोजीशन चेंज करते जाओ. इसकी पोजीशनिंग ये भी हो सकती है, इसकी पोजीशनिंग ये भी हो सकती है. गर्ल्स, यू कैन जस्ट राइट एच एच टी. तो मैंने तो 2 हेड ले लिए जी. तो तुमने सोचा ना पहले 2 कॉइन के ऊपर आ जाएगा, क्या पता तीसरे कॉइन के ऊपर आए. When I talking doing the topic probability, probability means the probability, probable cases, chances, क्या क्या हो सकता है सब कुछ सोचना है. You can't restrict कि मैं तो ऐसा सोच रही हूँ शायद ऐसा ही हो. It's not like that. Is it clear? Fine. You think कि आज मैम क्लास लेंगे कि नहीं लेंगे. अच्छा मेरी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है तो मैम क्लास नहीं लेंगे. So that's your problem ना. You have thought like that, but that are not all chances. मैम कैन टेक क्लास, मैम कैन नॉट टेक क्लास. ठीक है, सारे ऑप्शंस ओपन रखने हैं अपने लिए. प्रोबेबिलिटी में क्वेश्चंस में गड़बड़ तभी होती है व्हेन यू जस्ट थिंक अप टू अ लिमिट. यू हैव टू थिंक ऑल केसेस. अब 2 हेड वाला केस आ गया. अब हो सकता है 1 हेड वाला केस. तो 1 हेड वाला केस मींस 1 हेड बाकी दोनों टेल, पर इसके सारे केसेस लिखो. इट कैन बी टी एच टी, इट कैन बी टी टी एच. अब 2 हेड हो गया, 3 हेड हो गया, 2 हेड हो गया, 1 हेड हो गया. अब नो हेड. नो हेड मीन्स तीनों के ऊपर टेल. अब इसमें देखो कितने केसेस थे, 4. इसमें कितने आए, 8. दिस वी हैव डन इन क्लास 10th ऑल्सो. व्हेन अ कॉइन इज टॉस्ड, नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स इन सैंपल स्पेस, वी राइट लाइक दिस. हम सेट्स ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं. वी डू नो दैट number of element in a set is represented by this. Number of elements in a sample space are, when a coin is tossed, it is 2 raised to power n, where n means number of times a coin is tossed. Number of time a coin is tossed. जैसे यहाँ पर it is 2 raised to power n. कितनी बार कॉइन को टॉस किया, 2 टाइम्स. So that's why it is 4. यहाँ पर कॉइन को कितनी बार टॉस किया, 3 times. So 2 raised to power 3, it would be 8. Similarly, if you remember, we did it for dice also. If a die is thrown, number of elements in sample space are 6 raised to power n, where n means number of times a die is thrown. अच्छा एक चीज में कंफ्यूज नहीं होना, मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले भी बोला है, एक कॉइन 2 बार फेंकना या 2 कॉइन 1 बार फेंकना. 2 coins are tossed once और 1 coin is tossed twice. That's one and same thing. कोई आउटकम में कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. Is this clear? So this formulas you can remember. This is for the coin and the dice. 2 raised to power n when the number of coins are tossed. Dice 6 raised to power n when the dice are thrown. Is it clear? Now coming to, I hope it's clear to everyone. Systematic way से तुम लोगों ने बनाना है क्वेश्चन. Find the sample space with the experiment of rolling a pair of dice. Pair of dice मतलब 2 dice को फेंका गया है, तो 6 raised to power 2, that means 36 elements होने चाहिए sample space के अंदर. कितने elements होने चाहिए, 36 elements should be there in sample space. So you know that this we have done in 10th. पहले dice में क्या क्या आ सकता है. First die can have 1 2 3 4 5 6 Second, I can also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. तो 1 के साथ combinations, same 2 के साथ combination, 3 के साथ combination, 4, 5 and 6. So it will be 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3 up to 1, 6, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 6, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 6, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 6, 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 6, 6, 1, 6, 2. So these are the possible outcomes. How many? 6 into 6, 36. Clear? This you have done in class 10th also. So we know that in a die, doublets means 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. Minimum sum hota hai 2, maximum sum hota hai 6 plus 6, 12. Is it clear? See, I am presuming that you know the basic concepts. We know that sure events वो आगे करेंगे वैसे हम लोग जाके दोबारा. Is it clear? These are just a sample space के examples. We are doing very basic questions. I hope it's clear to everyone. Confusion हो तो ये tree diagram बना लो. इसके through भी कर सकते हो. Now coming to the third question. Find the sample space. किसका? A boy has 1 rupee coin, a 2 rupee coin and a 5 rupee coin. कौन सा coin है उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Is it clear? When otherwise if it is tossed, it's going to be head and tail. But अब क्वेश्चन में पूछा क्या है वो देख के आगे डिपेंड करेगा. A boy has 1 rupee coin, a 2 rupee coin and a 5 rupee coin. In his pocket, I have in my hand एक 2 rupees का coin, एक 5 rupees का coin, एक 1 rupees का coin. He takes out 2 coins out of his pocket, one after the other. Find the sample space. अब मेरी मुट्ठी में I have in my fist 1 rupee, 2 rupees and 3 rupees. और मैं तुम्हें बोलूँ कि okay fine, without thinking you pick up, without seeing it. तो तुम pick करोगे तो क्या आ सकता है? 1 rupees आ सकता है, 2 आ सकता है, 1 और 5 rupees coin आ सकता है, 2 और 5 आ सकता है, 2 के साथ कुछ और combination आ सकता है. Is it clear? So that means I need to find out the possible outcomes. इसमें head tail नहीं पूछा, उसने बोला कौन सा coin आ सकता है. So उनको नाम दे देते हैं. Let 1 rupee coin है, तो 1 rupee coin is O stands for 1 rupee coin. P stands for 2 rupee coin. And F stands for 5 rupees coin. O stands for 1 rupee coin, T stands for 2 rupees coin, F stands for 5 rupees coin. Is it clear? Now what will be sample space? अब possibilities क्या क्या है? अब क्या क्या आ सकता है? Just tell me. I can get 1 rupee with 2 rupee coin. I can get 1 rupee with 5 rupees coin. I can get 2 rupees with 5 rupees coin. I just have to make it like that. So what are the possibilities? 1 with 2 rupee coin, 1 with 5 rupee coin. अब 2 rupees first पे ले लो. 2 with 1 rupee coin, 2 with 5 rupee coin, 5 with 1 rupee coin, 5 with 2 rupee coin. So these are the possible outcomes. अच्छा एक चीज और, प्लीज ऐसा मत सोचना कि 1 और 2 one after the other निकाला है. पॉसिबिलिटीज सारी लेनी है. When I'm taking 1 1, अगर सपोज 1 2 ले रही हूँ तो 2 1 भी तो ले रही हूँ ना. Is it clear? ये नहीं सोचना 1 रुपी और 2 रुपी तो एक ही बात है, लेकिन निकाला तो एक के बाद एक है ना. अब सपोज आई एम प्लेइंग अ गेम विद यू, मेरे हाथ में कॉइन्स है, तुमने निकाला, तुम्हारे पास तो 1 रुपी आया, दूसरे वाले ने क्या निकाला 2 रुपी. बस 2 लोग हैं, फाइन. तुम्हारे पास 2 रुपीज, उसके पास 1 रुपीज, तुम्हें तो फर्क पड़ा ना. वंस यू गॉट 1 रुपी, वन यू गॉट 2 रुपीज. सो ऑल द पॉसिबल आउटकम्स. हेड टेल लिखा है तो टेल हेड भी लिखना है. Is this clear? This you need to keep in mind. Do not miss that. Understood? I hope these examples are clear to everyone. 1 or 2 more examples will take it for the sample space, because this is the basic of probability and you should all remember it. Now read the next example. Find sample space in this situation. A person is noting down the number of accidents along a busy highway in a year. A person is sitting there and he is on a duty that he has to note down the number of accidents. Now suppose, see, very practical situation. I am sitting on a highway, I am put on duty, so I have to note down कि अच्छा आज कोई एक्सीडेंट, तो क्या सिचुएशंस हो सकती है बताओ, मुझे नोट करना है कि कितने एक्सीडेंट्स हुए, सो क्या हो सकता है, स्पीक, नो एक्सीडेंट, maybe only one accident, maybe only two accidents, maybe only three accidents, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and no idea. Is it clear? So what will be my sample space? No accident. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on in a number of years. Is it clear? So such kind of examples, such kind of things can also come in your MCQs. So all the positive integers. Find the positive integers is my answer. Very clear. So you have to, when you are doing the questions of probability, children, you have to keep this pin. Alright, then only you will be able to do it properly. Now coming to this, a coin is tossed. If it shows a head, we draw a ball from a bag, and if it shows a tail, we throw a dice. Write the sample space. अब उसने क्या बोला? Coin में अगर head आता है, तो एक बैग में से, इसके बाद एक बैग खुलता है जिसके अंदर 3 ब्लू बॉल्स हैं, बॉल 1, ब्लू बॉल 2, बॉल 3, 4 वाइट बॉल्स हैं, वाइट 1, थोड़ा सा बड़ा कर देते हैं, वाइट 2, वाइट 3, वाइट 4. या तो ये सिचुएशन है, टेल आता है तो उसके बाद एक कॉइन थ्रो किया जा सकता है, दैट मीन्स 1, 2, 3, 4 आ सकता है, 5 आ सकता है, 6 आ सकता है. सो हेड के बाद या तो बॉल 1 आएगा, बॉल 2 आएगा, बॉल 3, वाइट 1, वाइट 2, वाइट 3, वाइट 4. बन गया सैंपल स्पेस, कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं. सो व्हाट इज माय सैंपल स्पेस? HB1, HB2, HB3, HW1, HW2, HW3, HW4, here T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6. Any doubt? Very, very easy. There is no doubt at all. Is this clear? So this tree diagram, this tree diagram is the easiest thing. Diagram बनाओ, सब कुछ clear हो जाएगा. All right. Just one last example. I'll just read it out. It says, consider the experiment in which a coin is tossed repeatedly until a head comes up. Describe the sample space. एक coin है, उसको हम फेंकते जाएंगे, फेंकते जाएंगे, फेंकते जाएंगे जब तक head नहीं आ जाता. तो मुझे sample space बताओ. Clear? अब हो सकता है, अब sample space हो सकता है पहली बार में ही head आ जाए और गेम खत्म. मान लिया गेम ही खेल रहे हैं, जिसका हेड आ गया वो जीत गया, मैं जीत जाऊंगी व्हेन आई गेट अ हेड. मे बी आई गेट अ हेड इन द फर्स्ट चांस ओनली एंड आई विन द गेम. हो सकता है फर्स्ट में हेड आया ही नहीं, टेल आ गया, और सेकंड में हेड आ गया, आई विन द गेम. हो सकता है सेकंड में भी नहीं आया, दोनों बार टेल आ गया, थर्ड में आई विन द गेम. हो सकता है 3 भी नहीं आया, 4 में आई विन द गेम, एंड सो ऑन. द गेम विल कंटिन्यू टिल द टाइम आई गेट अ हेड. पहली बार में आ गया, आई विन. हो सकता है पहली बार में नहीं आया, तो डेफिनेटली नहीं आया तो टेल आया होगा, देन गेट अ हेड, आंसर. देन टेल, टेल, हेड, टेल, 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 हेड. सो आई कीप ऑन गोइंग टिल द टाइम आई गेट अ हेड. इज इट क्लियर? सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट योर सैम्पल स्पेस, बिकॉज सैम्पल स्पेस इज अ बेसिक ऑफ प्रोबेबिलिटी. हर क्वेश्चन में सैम्पल स्पेस तो चाहिए ही चाहिए. देन ओनली विल बी एबल टू फाइंड. व्हाट डू वी डू? फेवरेबल आउटकम्स डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल नंबर ऑफ आउटकम्स. टोटल नंबर ऑफ आउटकम्स आर कॉल्ड सैम्पल स्पेस ओनली. ये पता होगा तो आगे तो क्वेश्चन तभी चलेगा ना. फाइन. सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट अ टॉपिक सैम्पल स्पेस. नाउ विल बी मूविंग अहेड.